We're back with lines 676 to 681. Anna's reaction to seeing Dido dying on the pyre. She's already said, "Was this that which you were preparing, sister? Were you assailing me in vain?" And now we're going to see what else she has to say. Hoc rogus iste mihi hoc igne saraeque parabant, qui primum deserta querar. We'll stop there. You got to put in fuit again here. Well, we had it earlier in that last part, and it needs to go here. So rogus has a subject, a verb. Was, so here's was, this the pyre of yours? Meaning the funeral pyre. Was this that pyre? Iste, remember, has a negative connotation usually. It can also refer to the second person. This pyre of yours. So was this the pyre of yours? I think the emphasis is, oh, this was your pyre, not a pyre to burn Aeneas's armor on and to get your memory rid of him. This was to burn yourself on. Was this the pyre of yours? And then you have this mihi, for me, almost, to my sorrow. She's referring to her now. She's very focused on her now being left alone because Dido has killed herself. Was this the pyre of yours? I don't know. You could say for me, but it doesn't sound quite smooth there. The second part, though, the mihi, comes out too. Was this, and you got this anaphora here, so I think we're referring to this pyre again. Was this and these don't relate grammatically to each other, but they do in the sense that the fires and altars are part of this pyre, I would think, or all this stuff is related to being funeral rites. So were the fires and the altars being prepared for me? And she's just in shock that this would be Dido's funeral pyre. She was not expecting this at all. Let's take a look at all the grammatical stuff here. So hoc is neuter, and rogus is masculine, iste is masculine. So these two things grammatically link up together. And ignes and arai are subjects of parabant. And rogus is the subject of fuit that's understood here. The hoc, I guess this pyre of yours was this for me. It's hard to really put it all smoothly into English, I think. But I think that she's repeating these hocs from earlier when she said hoc. Hoc illud Germana fuit. And you have this anaphora. It seems like she's just so in shock that she keeps saying this over and over again. So you could perhaps just take the hocs as her way of just referencing this sight that she sees before her, and she doesn't know what else to call it. What was this your funeral pyre? You could say it that way. For me, was this, this sight that she sees before her? The fires and altars were preparing this for me? You could say it that way. Mihi is dative. One edition I have just calls it a dative of personal interest. I think the bottom line here is that Anna is putting this mihi in here to say that all this that she sees before her seems to relate directly to her in her mind, because she's thinking of the consequences not only for Dido, but more importantly, or more emphatically, I guess you'd say, for herself. Mihi. Quid primum deserta querar. And here we see more focus on herself. Having been deserted. This is nominative. And the subject is ego. Having been deserted, what should I complain of? Primum, first, as an adverb here. What should I complain of first, having been deserted? Deserted by Dido, who just killed herself. What should I complain of first? It says I have a long laundry list of grievances here, so let's get started. Comitemne sororem sprevisti moriens. So you have the verb sprevisti. Have you spurned dying? Have you, the subject is to, have you died, have you dying spurned your sister as companion? Sororem is the accusative, and comitem also. The ne is just a question mark, right? So that doesn't get translated. It's just a question mark in the sentence. Sprevisti is perfect, active, second person singular, from spernere. And so she's saying, are you dying, have you spurned your sister as companion? Eadem me ad fata vocases. Now this vocases is really vocavises, and it's a pluperfect subjunctive. And Farr tells us to take it in a volative sort of a way, or a wish. So think of it this way: if only you had called, I would translate it. If you would have called, if only you would have called me to the same fates. So this is the verb. If only you would have called. The subject is to. You would have called me, accusative, ad fata eadem, to the same fates. And remember, eadem, or isdem, eadem, idem is the same. The ending is actually right there. The eya, neuter plural, and then the dem is just attached on the end there. All of this pronoun ends in dem. She would have wanted to die with her, she's saying. If only you would have called me to the same fates. And then she repeats the idea. Idam basferov dolor at quaadem ora tu licet. And so also do if only, and then to licet is also a pluperfect subjunctive. Translate the same way, in this wish sort of a way. If only the idem dolor, the same pain, or you could say grief here, if only the same grief would have carried ambas, both of us, away, pharaoh, by the sword. So that's an ablative there, pharaoh, and ambas is the accusative. So if only the same grief would have carried away ambas, both of us, accusative plural, by the sword. Remember, this is metonymy, or more specifically synecdoche, iron for sword. And the same hour would have carried us both away by the sword. So you also have another subject here, eadem ora. So let's do that part one more time. If only you would have called me to the same fates. If only the same grief and the same hour would have carried us both away by the iron, or by the sword. She would have liked to die with Dido. His etiam struxi manibus patriosque vocavi vocedeos sic te ut posita crudelis abessem. Did I even build, meaning this pyre, did I build this with his manibus, with these hands? So the subject is ego, Did I struxi build? This is implied hawk. His manibus, with these hands. Sorry. With these hands. Patriosque wokawi wokedeos. And did I call wokawi? These are all perfect active indicatives, by the way, first person singulars. Did I call the patrios deos, the fatherland's gods, the paternal gods, woke, with my voice? Got a nice alliteration there. Wokawi woke. Talk about repeating the same idea twice. Sic te ut posita crudelis abessem. Ut, so that, te posita, this is an ablative absolute, with you having been placed, seek, thus, or in this way. With you having been placed. Te can be ablative or accusative. Here it's ablative. With you having been placed thus, or in this way, abessem, I might be absent. The subject is ego. And I might be absent. This is a subjunctive here too. This is a, let's see, an imperfect subjunctive. I might be absent. Crudelis, cruel one. Just got to add that in there. By the way, cruel one. Remember that Dido called Aeneas Crudelis. Got a lot of people calling each other Crudelis in this book. People are not happy. So that, with you having been placed thus, meaning on the pyre, I might be absent from you, cruel one. And just a note for use of the subjunctive here, Farr notes that this is a purpose clause with ut, abessem, so that I might be absent, or for the purpose of me being absent with you placed thus, cruel one, ut and the subjunctive.